Thank you for joining us at FTP Sports Games. This video covers the first series between the San Francisco 49ers and the Miami Dolphins. After the kick, San Francisco returned it to the 36-yard line where they start out first and 10. You'll notice here we're not going to use offensive coordinators during this example. At this point, we're going to keep it pretty vanilla. We're going to call some basic plays on offense, and we're going to go ahead and call our own defense. This toggles the difference between the two. If you want to call the defense, you click this button. Use the defensive coordinator as this one. So we're just going to keep it in Miami. We're just going to keep it in a very base defense. All right. So if you're using offensive coordinators, or if you're using the game system to automatically come up with the offensive calls and who the workload running backs are or the target receivers are, this information is right here. This color tells you what the workload running back is going to be. And on a pass play, it tells you what the target receiver would be. And then this tells you if by down and distance play action is available. Remember, it's not available on all plays. First and 10, second and 8, and less, etc., etc. So if it's first and 10, first and 13 or something like that, then play action isn't available on that. This tells you here what level the running game is bumped up to. If you're calling your own plays, this tells you here what the defensive coordinator would have called. So that's kind of interesting to check your calls if you're calling your own plays against what a defensive coordinator would do by average on that type of play. And this here tells you what the offensive tendency is by down and distance. First and 10, that's a full rating, right? And all of this is covered in the instructions and some of the other sample videos. So again, San Francisco starts out first and 10 on their own 36-yard line. We're going to keep everything pretty base. And let's start out with a dive right to Wendell Tyler, since I'll be calling the plays. Once you're at this point, you're ready to go. So click the run button, and as you see here on the telestrator, it brings up everything that you need to run that play. Obviously, Miami is in a zone defense, so we hand the ball off to Wendell Tyler. The ball was snapped. There isn't a star or a fumble or anything else has come up. All right. So the IPA up here tells you, this section tells you what the individual player action is going to be. This calls for the defensive secondary to come up and support in run. And since it was a dive right, that's the strong safety. Okay, so let's go ahead and have a look on Miami's defense. And the strong safety is Glenn Blackwood. He has a play run rating of 6. We go back, 4 is within range. All right, 4 is within range. If it were greater than 6, then it would be out of range. So we take the run play level here. Have a look on Wendell Tyler's card, and that fits into the linebacker level. All right? So at the linebacker level, Glenn Blackwood comes up, and he provides run support since it was in range, and Wendell Tyler was held to a smaller gain, which is 3 yards. So let's go ahead, and that play takes about 40 seconds, 3 yards, second down, go down and assign that statistic down on the drop menu to Wendell Tyler, 1 attempt for 3 yards. And that automatically updates everything back here. So we see Wendell Tyler has 1 carry for 3 yards. All right, so now it's second down and 7. Let's just stay in everything, keep everything based right now. And when we look at San Francisco, we see that Russ Francis is the starting tight end. Why don't we throw an inside quick pass to Russ Francis? So it's an inside quick pass. Again, click the pass play, and we'll resolve the play from there. The ball is snapped. There's nothing there that causes a pre-play penalty or a fumbled exchange or anything like that. And we see that on the pass play, on the first IP up here, it requires that someone provides pass blocking for Joe Montana. All right. Well, who is it going to be? The pass blocking does for the offense. Whoever's highlighted in blue here, he's the one that receives the assignment for the pass blocking. All right. So let's look at San Francisco. It's the left guard. Remember, on quick pass plays, they get a bump up of 2. So right there we see John Ayers has a 19. So when you bump up 2, it can't be over that. So he provides pass protection and time for Montana to throw. We go ahead and skip this section here because no pressure is applied. Again, following all the instructions and other example videos. And the next thing we're going to do is come to this one here to see if Joe Montana has time to effectively read the defense. So we check his card. His QB rating is 20. 15 is within range, so he has time. He has time again to complete the pass and to read the defense. Now, the next thing we need to do is move down here to find out what happened on the actual thrown pass. All right? So who is Russ Francis's individual defender? It's the strong side linebacker. in a base setup, that's Bob Rudzinski. So Montana, as we move to the actual thrown pass, that's Bob Rudzinski. That's the number to check against his the ball in air pass defense, which he only has a rating of 3, so he's not going to do anything to break it up. And when we look at it, we get a number of 20 here. That could definitely be an interception. So we go back and we look, because Joe Montana had time to throw because of the good pass blocking and he did read the defense, we're going to use his higher number. The higher numbers provide better chances for a pass to be complete. So we look here, and on Joe Montana's card, on the top line, for quick passes, we see that it's going to be incomplete because 20 is above 17, but it's also within his interception range. So we go right back here, and we look within this number, just like it says in the instructions, and since this is 1 through 3, Joe Montana has thrown an interception on a bad pass. So right off the bat, at the start of this game, there's a turnover. So the next thing we're going to do, since it was a quick pass to Russ Francis, we're going to go down here, and this little letter tells you if you use the long number, the medium number, or the short number. So on a quick pass play, it tells us to use 7 yards as the number. That's how far the pass is thrown that ends up being intercepted. So, and no penalties take place. So let's click forward 10 seconds, and then pop forward 7 yards, and then let's find out who intercepted the pass for the Dolphins. Take a look at this number here. It's 1 through 100, and let's go back and let's check it against the range for the Miami Dolphins, and we see that number fits within Don McNeil's range. And now we're going to go ahead and see if he actually, what kind of return he has on that interception. So go back to the game center, have a look at the turnovers, and when you notice here that the first thing you're going to do is have a look at Don McNeil's automatic touchdown rating. When we click back, E right there. So you look under his automatic touchdown range, which is E, and it says touchdown. So it was intercepted at the 46-yard line, and Don McNeil returned that 46 yards for a touchdown. So we go down here, we give 6 points to Miami. Go down here, assign the statistics. Don McNeil, 1 interception, 46 yards, 1 touchdown. Dolphins jump ahead 6-0, and pending the extra point. So on an extra point, we go over here to special teams, and let's cycle the numbers. And for an extra point, you take these 2 numbers and add them together. It's 34, and you compare it against the kicker's XP rating, which is 38. It's inside that range, so Uwe von Schamann is good on the extra point. And we go over here, add 1 more, and go ahead for Uwe von Schamann, and he makes the extra point. And as we go back here, you'll start to see that the stat sheet starts to fill out, depending on the results of the game so far. So on the first series of the game, Miami against San Francisco, after a little 3-yard gain by Wendell Tyler, Joe Montana dropped back to pass. He had all the time in the world, perhaps a little bit nervous at the start of this one. He throws a bad pass, and it gets picked off right away by Don McNeil, and he returns it 46 yards for a touchdown. 7-0 San Francisco. Sorry, 7-0 Miami.